My next question is 10 100ths. Now I can see that they're both in the 10 times table. So I can divide the numerator by 10 and I can divide the denominator by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So I've simplified 10 100ths into 1/10. My next question is 9 900ths. Now I can see that they're both in the 9 times table, so I can divide the numerator by 9 and I can divide the denominator by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 900 divided by 9 is 100. So my fraction 9 900ths can be simplified to 1 100th. Let me just go through this on the side here. So I've got the bus shelter. I put 900 on the inside and I put this 9 on the outside. How many 9s are there in 9? There's 1. How many 9s are there in 0? 0. How many 9s are there in 0? 0. So we can stop. So our answer is 100, and that 100 goes at the bottom there. My next question is 12 36ths. Now what I'm going to do is do it in 2 steps. I can see that 12 and 36 are both even numbers and they're both in the 2 times table. So I'm going to divide 12 by 2, and whatever I do to the top number I have to do to the bottom number. So I'm going to divide 36 by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Now I can simplify 6/18ths further. I can see that they're both even and they're both in the 2 times table. So again I can divide the numerator by 2, and whatever I do to the numerator I have to do to the denominator. So I'm going to divide this by 2 as well. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now I've got 3 9ths, and I can simplify this further, and I can see both the 3 and the 9 are in the 3 times table. So what I'm going to do is divide the numerator by 3, and whatever I do to the numerator I have to do to the denominator. So I'm going to divide that by 3 as well. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So now I have 1/3. I can't simplify that any further. So I can say 12 36ths has been simplified to 1/3. Now the second way of doing this is to know that 12 and 36 are both in the 12 times table. So I could have divided 12 by 12 and also 36 by 12. Now how did I get 12? If you look carefully, 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. So instead of doing it in 1, 2, 3 steps, I could have done it in 1, single step. Don't worry about this method too much. Just try to learn to simplify in the steps that you can recognize. My next question is 20 22s. I can see that they're both even numbers and they're both in the 2 times table, so I can divide the numerator by 2, and whatever I do to the numerator I have to do to the denominator. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 22 divided by 2 is 11. So now I have 10 elevenths. I can't simplify this any further, so I can say 20 22s simplifies into 10 elevenths. My next question is 7 ninths. This fraction cannot be simplified any further. 7 ninths is written in its simplest form. Another example would be 2 thirds or 4 ninths. These fractions have been fully simplified. My next question is 8 24ths. I can see that they're both even numbers and they're both in the 2 times table, so I can divide the numerator by 2 and I can divide the denominator by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. So now I have 4 twelfths, and I can see they're both even numbers and they're both in the 2 times table. So I can divide 4 by 2, and whatever I do to the top number I have to do to the bottom number. So I have to divide the 12 by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So now I have 2 sixths, and I can see that 2 and 6 are both in the 2 times table, so I can simplify this further. I can divide the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2. So I'm going to divide the top number by 2, and whatever I do to the top number I have to do to the bottom number. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now I've got 1/3, and that can't be simplified any further. So I can say 8 24ths has been simplified to 1/3. Now the other way of doing this is to note that 8 and 24 are both in the 8 times table. So I can divide 8 by 8, and whatever I do to the top number I have to do to the bottom number. So I have to divide that by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. Now one more thing, pay attention to this. Instead of doing 1, 2, 3 steps, I've done it in 1 step. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, and that's where that 8 comes from. Now don't worry about this too much, we can practice this in another video, but in the meantime you just use the steps that you can do and simplify the fraction fully. My last fraction is 23 23rds. Now one thing I want you to notice about this, whenever the numerator is same as the denominator, the answer is always going to be 1. It doesn't matter what number the numerator is or the denominator, as long as they're the same, the answer will always be 1. So for example, if I said to you, what is 9/9 as a fraction? You're going to say 1. If I said to you, what is 6/6? You're going to say 1. Thank you for watching, and remember there's a free worksheet on the TES.com website. You can download it, print it, do the questions, and then check your answers. And don't forget to like and subscribe.